He's one of the most famous figures in movie history. A silhouette against a sun-bleached landscape, a dusty poncho on his shoulders, and a bitter cigarillo clenched in his teeth. He is the Lone Rider, the phantom of the Old West who drifts into town, deals his own brand of brutal justice, and vanishes as mysteriously as he came. The world knows him as the man with no name. That name itself is legendary. It's become a shorthand for Clint Eastwood's entire Western persona. The idea was that because he had no name, we, the audience, could fill in our own fantasies of strength and rebellion. But what if I told you that the entire thing is a myth, that the man with no name as we know him never really existed? Today we're pulling back the poncho to reveal the truth behind one of cinema's greatest legends. We'll uncover the names he was actually called, the different men he played, and the incredible story of how a marketing gimmick accidentally created an immortal icon. If you enjoy deep dives into the true stories of the Old West and its greatest legends, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Before we get into today's video, I have something special for you. Do you ever watch an old Western and wonder, did that really happen? Well, we've put together a free guide called the Ultimate Wild West Fact Checkers Guide, and it debunks 25 of the biggest myths lying Hollywood shows in their movies. You get it emailed to you instantly when you sign up for our free weekly newsletter. Just head on over to nativejournals.com/subscribe to grab yours and find out the truth about everything from high noon duels to what cowboys really wore. Link is in the description. Part 1. The Lie That Built a Legend. The most important thing to understand is that the title Man with No Name was never the director's idea. It wasn't an artistic choice from Sergio Leone. It was a marketing strategy, plain and simple, cooked up by the American film distributor, United Artists. Back in the mid-60s, United Artists had bought the rights to 3 Italian-made westerns. The spaghetti western wasn't a respected genre in America yet, so they needed a powerful way to sell these foreign films. Their solution was to tie all 3 movies together with a single, unifying idea, a mysterious, recurring hero they called the Man with No Name. It sounded tough, it created a brand, and it worked perfectly. This marketing campaign was so effective that it completely redefined the character in the public's mind. The story they invented became more real to people than the movies themselves. United Artists even went so far as to physically alter the movies for their American release. They got the actual film prints and trimmed out any scene or line of dialogue that mentioned the main characters' real names or nicknames. They literally silenced the script to create their illusion. This was a purely American invention. In the original Italian marketing, the Man with No Name concept is nowhere to be found. Part 2. The 3 Men Behind the Poncho. When you actually watch the movies, the foundation of this myth completely falls apart. In each of the 3 films in the Dollars trilogy, Clint Eastwood's character isn't just given a name or a nickname. He has different motivations and even a different moral code. A closer look reveals not one single character, but 3 separate men. First, in 1964's A Fistful of Dollars, he is the stranger called Joe. He is explicitly called Joe by the town's coffin maker, and that's his name in the film's credits. This man is an opportunist. He rides into a corrupt town and sees a chance to make a quick buck by playing 2 warring families against each other for his own profit. But Joe isn't purely selfish. He shows a flicker of morality when he risks everything to save a woman named Marisol. When she asks him why, he gives a haunting answer. Because I knew someone like you once and there was no one to help. This line is a glimpse into a past that motivates his one selfless act in the film. Next, in 1965's For a Few Dollars More, Eastwood returns as a different man, the bounty hunter Manco. Manco is a Spanish nickname meaning one-armed, which he gets from his habit of doing everything with his left hand, keeping his right hand always free to draw his weapon. Unlike the drifter Joe, Manco is a professional with a clear goal: earn enough bounty money to retire. His morality has also evolved. He forms a partnership with another bounty hunter, Colonel Douglas Mortimer, to hunt down the outlaw El Indio. In the film's climax, Manco displays a unique code of professional honor. Instead of taking the final glory, he lets Colonel Mortimer have his personal revenge in a fair duel. Finally, in the epic 1966 film The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Eastwood's character is labeled the Good. But this is deeply ironic. Throughout the film, he's known by the nickname Blondie. Blondie is a cynical operator, first seen running a scam with his partner Tuco, where they profit from a fake hanging. His motivation in this film is pure greed, the hunt for $200,000 in hidden gold. Yet even this hardened cynic shows moments of surprising humanity. The most powerful example comes during a brutal Civil War battle. He stops to comfort a dying young soldier, covering the boy with his coat and letting him take a puff from his cigarillo. Part 3. An unplanned trilogy? So if he played 3 different characters, Joe, Manco, and Blondie, does that mean the films aren't connected at all? The question of whether these are meant to be the same man is a topic of huge debate. The evidence suggests the films were never planned as a connected trilogy from the start. The strongest case against a direct connection is how director Sergio Leone used his actors. He frequently reused the same major actors to play completely different roles. For example, Lee Van Cleef is the honorable Colonel Mortimer in the second film, but he's a sadistic villain Angel Eyes in the third. This practice strongly suggests that Leone saw each film as its own standalone story. However, there is a very popular fan theory that ties it all together by arguing that The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is actually a prequel. The main evidence is the character's iconic costume. The film is set during the Civil War, and for almost the entire movie, Blondie doesn't wear his famous poncho. He only gets it in the final scenes, taking it from the body of the dying soldier he comforted. According to this theory, this is the origin story of the poncho-clad gunslinger we see in the other films, placing this movie first in the timeline. The truth is likely that the films are connected by a theme, not a single story. Part 4. The True Making of a Legend. The real origin of this iconic character isn't found in the American West, but in feudal Japan. A Fistful of Dollars is an unofficial remake of a 1961 Japanese samurai masterpiece called Yojimbo. Eastwood's character, Joe, is a direct copy of the masterless samurai, or Ronin, from that film. The casting of Clint Eastwood was a complete accident. The director's first choice was Henry Fonda, but they couldn't afford him. His next choice, Charles Bronson, turned it down. After several other actors passed, Leone considered a young American TV actor named Clint Eastwood. Leone's first impression was blunt. He later said, "More than an actor, I needed a mask." And Eastwood, at that time, only had 2 expressions, with a hat and no hat. But Eastwood himself was responsible for creating the iconic look. He bought the black jeans from a store on Hollywood Boulevard, sourced the hat from a Santa Monica wardrobe company, and brought his own cigars, which he cut into thirds. The legendary poncho was acquired in Spain. That entire visual identity was largely Eastwood's own design. Even more importantly, Eastwood shaped the character's personality through silence. He insisted on cutting much of his own dialogue, believing the character would be more powerful and mysterious. He successfully argued against including a detailed backstory in the first film, telling the director that a great movie lets the audience think for themselves. That single decision was fundamental in creating the mystery we all know and love. So when you get right down to it, the man with no name is a myth. The name was a marketing fabrication. In the films, he's 3 distinct characters: Joe, Manco, and Blondie. But here's the amazing paradox. The myth, born from a marketing meeting, became more powerful than the truth. This simplified, nameless version of the character became a hugely influential archetype that inspired countless movies and shows, from Mad Max to The Mandalorian. The marketing lie created a legend more enduring than the truth. So now that you know the real story, I have to ask, who is your favorite of the 3 real characters? The opportunistic Joe, the professional Manco, or the cynical Blondie? Let me know your pick in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more true stories behind the legends of the West. Thanks for watching.